Hello friends, welcome to Danlo. In today's lecture series, we are going to discuss the features of an Indian constitution. As we know that our Indian constitution drafted at the mid of 20th century, and the constitution makers drew inspiration from the various sources and adopted various unique features to be incorporated in the Indian constitution. So these are the following features of the Indian constitution. So let's come. First one is largest constitution. Indian constitution is the largest constitution. According to Sir Ivor Jennings, has termed the Constitution of India as the largest and detailed constitution. Okay, it generally consisted of 22 parts and 395 articles and 8 schedules on that time, but presently there is 12 schedule. Remember, presently there is 12 schedule. So second one is like sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic. What does it mean? The sources of constitution is the people of India, and according to the preamble, the people of India have adopted, enacted and given to themselves the constitution. Okay, it declares India to be a sovereign, socialist, secular and democratic republic. Okay, and the word secular, which was added in preamble by the 42nd amendment in 1976. Secular was added in 42nd amendment in 1976. Remember. Third one is parliamentary form of government. Parliamentary form of government. What is the parliamentary form of government? Parliamentary form of government, like India has a parliamentary form of government in both center and state. Okay, center and state both. So the Indian form of government is where president is the constitutional head, and executive power, all the executive power and legislative power basically is in the Council of Ministers, and they are responsible to the legislature, and India basically follows the British rule. Okay, come to the third one is the fundamental rights. Fundamental rights, like the fundamental rights which is discussed in the constitution. So the fundamental rights have been incorporated in the part 3rd of the constitution. So these rights are against the state, and the state cannot make any law which violates the fundamental rights. So such laws are declared unconstitutional by the Supreme Court and or either the High Court. So apart from these rights, there is a strong provision for enforcement of these rights. So the Supreme Court has been granted the power to enforce these rights by issuing writs, Article 32, in the nature of mandamus, habeas corpus, prohibition, certiorari and quo warranto. These are the writs. If there is a violation of fundamental right, then these writs were issued, like mandamus, habeas corpus, prohibition, certiorari and quo warranto. So come to the directive principle of state police policy. This is the fifth features of Indian constitution. Here it has been written, directive principle of a state policy. These are contained in part 4 of the constitution, and they are not enforceable, but they are fundamental to the governance of a state. So, though they are not enforceable, the state is expected to follow them to achieve the objectives of welfare of the state. Directive principle of a state policy is not mandatory, but it is for only enforceable by state to for the achievement of objectives for the welfare of the state and welfare of their territory. Okay, so these are in the form of directive to the legislature and executive. 26th and 42nd constitutional amendments gave importance to the directive principle of fundamental rights. Okay, so the laws which implemented and directive principles of the state policy cannot be challenged. Okay, come to 6th, universal adult suffrage. What is universal adult suffrage? Democratic government is people's government. The country is administered by the elected representatives of the people. The constitution gives every person who is above the age of 18 a right to elect representative for the parliament and as well as the state legislature, as we know that. Fifth one is blend of rigidity and flexibility. What is blend of rigidity and flexibility? Rigidity or flexibility of the constitution depends upon the amendment process. Written constitutions are generally considered to be rigid. A rigid constitution requires a special method of amendment. Okay, while a flexible constitution can be amended by ordinary process of legislation. So you understand this. Now come to the federal constitution with centralizing tendency. Federal constitution with centralizing tendency means what? Our constitution is federal with unitary bias, as we know, according to K.C. Ware. Like our constitution is unitary with federal. Unitary bias with federal. Okay, so federal constitution is centralizing tendency. This is the one of the important features of the constitution. So it is a federal constitution, but it acquires unitary tendency during the time of emergency. So during proclamation of emergency, the distribution of power between the center and the state undergoes a radical change. So the parliament acquires the power to legislate on any subject mentioned in the state list. Executive and financial arrangement are also altered, and the center can direct the state on the matters as well. Okay, come to the independent judiciary. Our judiciary is entirely independent judiciary, and judiciary is separate body from the executive as well as from legislature. Okay, independent judiciary means establishment of independent judiciary is the important feature of the Indian constitution, and conferment of rights which have true effect if there is a sound mechanism for enforcement of such rights. Okay, and like where the power of judicial review is essential for protection of rights, Supreme Court is considered to be a guardian of Constitution. Come to single citizenship. India have a single citizenship. So generally in a federal constitution there is a provision for dual citizenship, that is citizenship of the center or a state. Center and state both have their own citizenship होता है, एक ही citizenship होता है दोनों का हमारे यहाँ, पर कहीं कहीं जैसे आप अमेरिका में देख लीजिए, यूएसए में देख लीजिए, जहां पे सिंगल सिटीजनशिप नहीं है, ड्यूल सिटीजनशिप है, सेंटर का अलग एंड स्टेट का अलग होता है. ओके, तो सिंगल सिटीजनशिप इज लाइक जनरली फेडरल कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन देयर इज द प्रोविजन फॉर ड्यूल सिटीजनशिप, दैट इज सेंटर citizenship of center and citizenship of state. So American constitution, as I had given example, so despite being a federal constitution, it provides for a single citizenship. There is no separate citizenship for the states. This instills a sense of unity amongst the citizens despite of having diversity in many shares. Come to secular state. There is secular means there is no religion of state. There is no religion of country. As I had discussed earlier that secular means, secular is term which is added in the preamble of the constitution according to the 42nd amendment which was in 1976. Come to fundamental duties. Fundamental duties which was added, they have been added by the 42nd constitutional amendment in 1976. So fundamental duties have been provided in the part 4A, article 51A of the constitution. Okay, and the amendment added 10 fundamental duties which were increased to 11 by 86 constitutional amendments. जो 86 constitutional amendment हुआ था उसमें 1976 में, उसमें 10 से 11 हो गया वो, जो कि इंक्रीज कर दिया गया fundamental duties को. So it serves as a reminder to the citizens that they owe certain duties towards the nation apart from enjoying the rights conferred by the constitution. So thank you so much.